I'm not comfortable with both, like weirdly enough, because T to S or S to T is not that common of a sound change.
Can I also point out that we have a reconstructed TS?
Oh, but that affricate actually like shows up everywhere.
Exactly.
So,
This is our
yeah.
problem. YouTube, welcome back. We are reconstructing some kind of Middle Chinese-like thing here with Quain on stream. So far, we've got a good handle on some initials, but we're climbing the mountain. What else can we say?
Yeah.
So
It's a huge shan to climb.
it is. It's a huge shan to climb. All right, so let's scoot over to the side webcam, get everything back on screen, and we are back. Okay. So we have a few initials confidently reconstructed. We have a few initials unconfidently reconstructed. And then we have a few that we're just puzzled about.
Yeah, we're even more unconfident about. So I see I see a suggestion that we look at one, which is super interesting, but it's something that is
morpheme one or
super.
the morpheme that means one?
Oh no, Sunday.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Right. So let's look at this one. We have a really, really interesting correspondence set here. Yeah. And then the palatal nasal nya / z. Then we have la. Then we have z. Then the palatal nasals back. And ya again. And then n, z. And then this friend. This friend. R. Okay. What on earth is going on here?
Yeah. Chat, we need your help.
Chat, what is going on here?
Yeah.
Retroflex
The
approximate.
N's and the Z's and the L's and the R's and yeah, just everything.
The fact, okay, so if we had no nasals in here, I would be happy to do something like lia, either the true palatal lateral lia or an L yod cluster, because I can see how you'd get to ya. I could see how you'd get to ra. I could see how you'd get to
Yeah, I can
lub.
see that too.
But
Yeah.
that crossing that nasal divide seems to be
Yeah, and
tougher.
the Z though, like the Z is a bit far from yeah.
Well,
Like,
the Z is we know of cases where ya and z
yeah.
um where ya and z are related in some way.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you can think of ya uh, undergoing fortition to ja, and then you're halfway there. But the nya, I don't see gaining nasalization that easily with the rest of these. So either I think the proto language has a nasal, or is a nasal palatal cluster, or is a palatal nasal itself. But then how do we get to H from that? And how do we get to Z from nya?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a cluster. Don't know.
So we have this. We're using clusters potentially to solve some of our problems here. In where did we also use a cluster? In 15. Oh, sorry, in 16. And do we notice that D maintains this glide? Do we have the same thing happening here? We do not. So we don't have a glide showing up in D, which we used in 20 and 16 to say, hey, we're onto something maybe with this cluster analysis. Maybe it's not a cluster. This is a tough one. This is maybe the toughest one we've had so far.
Yeah, maybe let's just hold it back.
Okay, let's hold it back. Yeah, okay, so...
Yeah.
The relationship, echoed word says the relationship does seem to carry across into 2, with the exception of B, which doesn't have the palatal nasal. Let's take a look at that then. Maybe that can shed some light on the situation. Yeah, so this looks basically like the same correspondence set, except we don't have the doublets in B and G. So if we don't have the doublets in B and G, maybe this is the regular reflex, z, and n or nya is a borrowing. Given that we have nya in E, which could be a source, or maybe it's
yeah, I'm not sure actually, like whether it's that way or the other way. Like both can be sort of argued.
Yeah,
in a sense.
We have this issue. What do you think the two most? What would you say the two most likely, or the two best reconstructions for this sound? What would you say they are?
Yeah, I would not give up the nasal actually, because it's I can see how a nya turning into la, ya, and ra in a very roundabout way. But yeah,
Yeah, nya going to ya, fine. Nya
fine.
going
Yeah.
to la.
It's like nya, ya, la, maybe. What's the vowel after la?
The vowel after la is
Yeah,
e.
it's e, right? So it's like ni, li, like yeah,
I mean, I don't see it, but
maybe.
maybe. Yeah.
And some sort of like the z sound, as you said, it can come from ya, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like what? Yeah, in a fortition kind of way.
Yeah, this is either something like a palatal nasal or some kind of
Palatal lateral. Yeah,
palatal
nice.
lateral. I think that.
Yeah.
So let's write down those as our choices. I think of the two palatal nasals, the better reconstruction, although it has things that make me wonder. I gotta get the palatal lateral here.
Like the whole set is just like full of wonders.
That is wild. Okay. All right. Okay,
Like,
so shall we what?
No, go. Yeah, was gonna suggest that we should look at something even more interesting and
Okay,
challenging.
let's do it.
Look at 11, which is a cursed set.
This is cursed. So, yeah. I don't even know what we're going to do for the first for A. So I'm going to leave it out for the moment. So we have nga, we have ga, maybe with a wa. We have v,
And the.
and z. Okay. And then we have nga again. And then we have ya. And so it's either nothing for A or
Some kind of ya kind of thing.
yeah. And then in G we what?
We have a B.
We have a B. Okay. Cause why not?
Yeah.
Okay. Or we have a B or a palatal nasal. And we have a ya in H. So here we have another case of a nasal that I want to reconstruct the nasal because I can see nasals falling out word initially, like the velar nasals in particular. Given how uncommon it is typologically in that.
Yeah, and also given the difficulty of English speakers trying to pronounce them, right?
Yeah, well, that's most languages do change because English speakers would, they know English is going to come around in a few thousand years, and so they're like, we got to get rid of this before they get here.
No, but Vietnamese be like Nguyen. Like we can pronounce that, no problem. Anyway.
Indeed. Yeah. Well, I mean, it still does remain in B, so we know it's possible, and
yeah,
I mean, we can just do it. Nga. There you go. But there does seem to be something.
Yeah, B and E like retain, quote unquote, retain the velar nasal, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
right? And C, yeah, it's coming to G, which makes sense because M turning into B. It's a similar, right? It's a analogical or yeah, whatever. Like
Yeah.
it's a similar change. Yeah.
So,
So
given that, I'm actually comfortable reconstructing an initial nga here and an initial ma in 3.
yeah, makes sense.
I mean, I think that's we. I'd probably want to be a little bit more careful and see more, but for the purposes of today, I think it's. I think we've seen enough data to make that hypothesis at least.
Right.
So what was that? That was 11, right?
That was
The
11.
the
Yeah.
word meaning moon or month. Okay. So, right. Got lots of good stuff in the chat here. Lots of questions. Okay. How far apart from their last common ancestor are these languages? Asks Echoed Words. And that's kind of a question that we would have to answer.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out because
Yeah,
yeah, we don't know yet.
we don't
Yeah.
know yet. Um, Grendel Raz says 9 looks fun. Yeah, 9 is another compound. So what's going on with 9?
Okay. We're just doing the fun ones because yeah, that's what we have time for.
So the boring part, T, D, T slash T,
mhm.
implosive D.
Yeah, it's an implosive. Look.
There it is. Aspirated T, unaspirated T, D, and T. Now, where have we seen something like this before? I'm thinking of 22,
22, yes.
where we have this implosive. And we have a voiced in G, we have a voiced in B, we have the implosive in D. The difference is we have an aspirate in H, which we do not have here.
Interesting. Yeah, so 22, yeah, 22H has an aspirate, while 9H doesn't, right?
Mm-hmm. Which is slightly odd, but interesting nonetheless. And then
Yeah.
the second one, which is a little more intense, is this. Sh, h, nothing, slash h, nothing, h, h, voiced h, and okay. I'm feeling voiced h here. Look at the difference
Yeah,
between
could be.
this.
Yeah, yeah, judging from our previous reconstruction of voiced H.
Mm-hmm.
But that is quite different, actually. So,
But look at what's
yeah.
next to. It's next to a. Well, let's go back to 16. It's sometimes at least next to a w, although sometimes
Yeah.
not.
But in 9B is, it's like all ah, all, and eh. Yeah. Yeah. So a wide variety of vowels.
Mm-hmm. And if in 16 it's next to back and central unrounded things, o, u. So it's next to basically every vowel but e in
Yeah.
16.
So it seems like the vowels are conditioning a lot of things that we're missing out on.
Mm-hmm. And we won't be able to get to that until we start
Yeah.
reconstructing some vowels. All right. So what have we not touched in terms of initials? So I'm gonna put a little mark in anything we've looked at. So this is going to be our mysterious initial. Mysterious initial. We liked M for this in the end. We haven't touched. We don't know about 5. We've touched it, but we don't know about it. We haven't touched 6. We haven't touched 7. 8 we have touched. Okay, so maybe before we go on, anything can we call this an S? I'm really tempted to call it an S.
Yeah.
Because what else could it be? A T? Well, could it be a T?
I'm not comfortable with both, like weirdly enough, because T to S or S to T is not that common of a sound change, I
And
don't think.
can I also point out that we have a reconstructed TS, like an affricate.
Oh, but that affricate actually like shows up everywhere, right?
Yeah,
So like you can't just say TS goes to T in this and goes to S in that because we have TS.
exactly.
So
This is our
yeah,
problem. So it's either S or T, but it's not TS. That's what we're left with so far.
yeah. So I mean, yeah, if yeah, S seems to be the common denominator or like something like that.
When
Yeah,
we see
right.
something that we want to reconstruct as T, that will help us. So maybe there's
Yeah,
something we
we
can.
have a lot of like T-like stuff
Mm-hmm.
because yeah, right in a nine, for example, like is a T alveolar something.
Let's call this a T, big capital T, which means we don't know what to do with it yet. Let's call the initial in 9b a capital H. Are you
Yeah, or
comfortable?
just the voiced one,
The
as you
voiced one?
said. Right?
Yeah, because we've
Yeah,
already started down that road, so why not?
yeah.
So then in that case, I'm going to call this big S. It's big, which means we don't know what it is yet.
Hmm.
All right, and then we have also touched 11, and we've reconstructed the velar nasal. We haven't touched 12.
I think 12 is a similar situation actually, where D behaves weirdly. Yeah, it turns to T again if we're positing some sort of like S sound.
Okay, let's write out the correspondences for that. So this is 12. So here we have like a palatalized version of this
Yeah.
sound. S, S. So I'm going to posit there may be a front vowel after this,
Yeah, yeah. Makes sense.
and I'm going to reconstruct this as capital S.
Yeah.
And what would be interesting to do after we finish this is to compare this to the transcription of Middle Chinese as it's been reconstructed.
Yeah. I would suggest we wouldn't like reveal it at the end and let people just think in and maybe have some fun with it and see.
Yeah,
Because like yeah,
let's not reveal it today
not today.
because we won't be finished anyway. So we'll have to come back and
Yeah,
complete it another time.
right.
Okay, so if we can complete the initials, I will be happy.
Right.
Like the first round through. So we've touched 15. That sounds wrong, but nevertheless, here we go. And we've looked at 16, and this is where I have that sort of hua.
Like a hua, yeah.
Yeah,
Like
I don't
a
know.
voiced eight. Yeah.
That's dubious, I think, still, but what else have we not looked through? 22,
It's like a capital P, right?
capital P. 24 looks.
Capital S, I would say,
Yep,
right? Because
it's
it's like the same thing. Yeah.
it's the exact same thing. Almost. G has a different reflex.
Okay. Yeah, but it's S, so like nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Deal
actually
with it.
so does C. Yeah, but let's reconstruct that as S and explain the other stuff using vowel magic.
Right.
So S. What else do we have? We've looked at 27, which we also said was S. And 30, we're still a bit confused by. All right. Oh, chat says apparently YouTube glitched a bit. We were just too powerful.
Oh, it did? I didn't see it.
Yeah,
Too
apparently.
bad that I missed it. Yeah.
But we're back, and we have a few more to look at. So let's continue. Quain, do you want to walk us through 6 while my voice rests a bit?
Okay. So 6 we have yeah, glottal stop with some kind of like thing. So I would just would put that into parentheses. Okay, 这, which is super interesting and weird. Didn't expect that. Versus a glottal stop with a again. So here we go. Yeah. For D, we have Z, Z, and Y. And E, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So E, E, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Cool. What do you reckon?
Apologies for that. Yeah, I think we may be dealing with fortition of an initial yod
Mm,
in the case of C and D.
yeah,
That's my
makes sense.
instinct.
And yeah, because like A, F, G, H are all yeah. So yeah, I would happy to put a yeah there.
The only question is, do we see this kind of fortition anywhere else in D and C and D? We see Z show up in D, which we talked about as perhaps
Yeah,
being fortition of ya, so
D,
that actually makes a lot of sense.
yeah, D seems to like the Z phoneme a lot
Mm-hmm.
because it just shows up everywhere.
Okay, so I'm happy with reconstructing a yod here.
Yeah.
So, and as we think about our methodology, our first pass through this is just really assembling these correspondence sets. The reconstructions are very tentative at this point. What we need to do
Mm,
after we've done this, is to go over the system that is created by this reconstruction
right.
and sort it out a little bit better. But
Right.
for the purposes of what we're doing today, this is good. I'm gonna change this so that it's still colorful. There we go. All right. What else? Okay, so 2. Oh dear.
This is quite disastrous. Um, so we have nothing followed by but just yeah. Yeah.
I think we're going to have to put in the vowel
Yeah.
because it seems implicated.
Like some of them are not even vowels. That's
Yeah,
just wild. Yeah.
like look at G. It's just a syllabic velar nasal.
Oh God. Yeah.
So there is. It does seem that there is an affinity between A and H
Yeah.
in this cognate set, at least.
Yeah.
This R versus business.
Yeah. I mean, there are. I'm just looking through. A big difference is that only H has the phoneme, while A doesn't.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah, but that's like probably the only, not the only, but the main difference
Mm-hmm.
between them. Yeah.
Although it does encode a position, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah. That's yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Oh, we have.
I think. Mm,
Oh, sorry.
go
I was
ahead.
gonna say from the chat. Kat Misberg says for 6D, the two words have different vowels, codas, and tones. So maybe ziak is not a cognate. 6D. So this is this word meaning one.
Mm. It could be because it could be that is the way or the other way around. You can't be sure because like we've seen a lot of like correspondences between y and the in all other varieties in D, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we know that D likes the z sound. So maybe the is a cognate. We can't really be sure which one was borrowed. Yeah, but it does make sense that the IT thing looks a lot similar to the other ones.
Mm-hmm. Especially to E, well, to
Yeah.
C and E especially.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so any thoughts on what our initial for 7, for item 7, the number 2 might be?
Maybe some kind of nasal.
Yeah, here we have another one of these strange nasal situations. Actually, it's very similar to the one, the sun/day correspondence set
Hmm.
in a way. So that's here. Ya, nya/z, la, z, right? So these are all quite close, actually.
Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, there are some major differences. A doesn't have y anymore.
Right.
And for okay, so nya, z, l. Yeah, but the yeah, I see what you mean. Like the overall structure is kind of the same.
We might be able to derive this difference from some difference in the syllable
The
nucleus.
vowel. Yeah, again,
Yeah.
blame the vowels. Like
Blame the
it's
vowels.
always the vowels.
Okay, so I think we should narrow this down to the palatal nasal at this point. I don't think the palatal lateral is good for
Yeah.
7, 1, and 2. And I think they are the same cognate set or the
Yeah.
same correspondence set. So let's say nya, which is weird, but this seems irreducibly weird. And of all the weirdness, this
I
seems to be
like
the
your
least
wording
weird.
there. Irreducibly weird. That's fantastic.
Irreducibly, well, that was the name of my band in high school.
Oh dear.
I don't, you can't see this, Queen, but I just flashed a grin at the stream, as if to say,
Cheese.
can
Yeah.
this man
Usual
be
cheese.
trusted? The answer
Okay.
is absolutely not. So, let's put in.
Irreducibly not, shall I say?
There's one thing that bothers me a little, which is 26.
Okay, let's look at that.
With this reconstruction. So this is the word for woman, and it actually does have a palatal nasal in A and a B.
And yeah, it's all nasal, right?
Yep, except for F and
Yeah,
C.
F. Yeah, F is a. Yeah, but N and L, they are pretty close
Apparently,
together. Yeah,
like
apparently.
my well, yeah, I guess I don't know. I just don't think of them as that
Yeah,
close together.
they're
But
both alveolar. They're both sonorants. So like, why? Yeah.
Why do we let these petty things like plus minus continuant plus minus nasal come between us?
Yeah. I like nasal. Just don't care. Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, so N and L.
Yeah.
So then, how are we going to deal with this?
So nya la na nya na. I would say na personally rather than nya.
And then we get this palatal nasal just through assimilation?
Yeah, just through because there are some like e and u, yeah, that kind of vowel. So
And
it yeah, that is pronounced z, by the way,
very cool.
which is a very wild pronunciation.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So if we have this as proto N and say that there's something
yeah, followed by a e or u or there's some kind of high front thing.
I mean, except for the fact that D is nu, C has lu.
Oh, the u and u and e, they're all connected.
It's all connected, man.
It's all connected. Yeah. Exactly.
And G has ah. I mean, they're all vowels. Who's counting?
Oh dear. G is being G. Yeah. Just don't mind it.
I like to point out one of these as being the problem case, but they're kind of all the problem case.
Yeah. It's fascinating how they can all be the problem cases.
Okay, so
just testifies as how difficult like being a Chinese linguist is. You got to deal with this stuff.
Speaking of how to deal with it, we're getting some suggestions in from the chat. Jack Wren is saying, could the palatal portion come from a liquid, some sort of a rhotic? It could become a glide.
Which one is Jack referring to?
In 7.
Oh, in 7. Okay.
Jack says further down the chat, I think in 1, 2, and 7, there's some liquid between the initial nasal and the vowel that's throwing everything off. In 26, that is absent.
Liquid between the nasal and the vowel. Interesting. Oh, so that is how, like, in A, it behaves differently, right? Because in 127, A loses the nya that we posited, but in 26, it retains it.
Right.
Right.
And so in that case, do we need a separate reconstruction? So,
Yeah, but we
separate?
did 127 and 26 differently, right? Because we are saying that 26, the rise, the so-called rise of palatal nasal in 26 is because of the vowel following it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said "n" there, and you kind of agreed, right?
Yeah. I'm just trying to think. Jack's given us an interesting alternative perspective here. I wonder. We have not yet taken a second break because when we do, we're going to have to put this down, and I'd like to get us to have at least seen all of the cognate sets. So
Right.
let's quickly finish up in the next couple minutes and just discuss. So let's keep our n reconstruction for now, but I'm going to put a question mark beside it. So 25n. Okay, so let's talk about, what do we have? We have 10, which seems like another S.
Yeah, capital S. Yeah, some sort of S kind of thing.
It's very similar to 24. Are there any differences actually at all between 10 and 24? S, sh, s, sh.
The.
Little bit of difference here and there, but
yeah, just the so it's like it's a capital S.
Yeah. Okay, so that's good. S something. Then let's look at 14.
K. So k ch with a and in all the ch cases is like followed by some high front thing.
Okay. So I am comfortable reconstructing this as aspirated k.
Yeah, same.
Okay, so that is good. We can, oops, that's wrong. We can put that in. Next we have the word for way, which we have this sort of TD.
Yeah.
TDT, implosive D, aspirated TDT. It's very similar to, actually I believe it's identical to 9A.
Oh yeah.
So that's our capital T right there. And then,
and 21 seems to be another capital T because it behaves a bit different.
Right, very, very slightly different. 21. Yeah. So here we have a TH, aspirate, voiced, unvoiced. Then we have this interesting implosive /H. We see this /H a few times. Well, no, just in 14.
Yeah, we've seen actually H coming from TH, right?
Right. And so there we go.
Yeah.
T. This is TH. This is TH. This is D. This is TH. So we've seen this pattern before where sometimes, for example, H has the aspirate in the cognate set, and sometimes it doesn't. So for example, we reconstructed 4 and 23 as TH, as aspirated T.
Right.
And so this looks like it should be as well. But there's a bit of a difference, which is that it has these.
I think the main difference lies in B and G. Varieties B and G. Yeah. So
And half of D.
if you posit the same thing, you have to like somehow justify it using the vowels or something like that. Which, or the tone. We haven't. Yeah, can't believe we haven't talked about tones at all.
We have the Tone Master General on, and we haven't talked about tones.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
Well,
we will.
That's what the next episode's for.
Yeah.
All right. So then our last one is this treat or govern word, which.
Okay, we have some African business going on.
Oh dear.
So.
I just look at this. Z, syllabic rounded Z.
Yeah. Try pronouncing that.
Okay. Z.
Yeah, basically.
How did I do? Wow. Okay.
It's like a bee or like some kind of like mosquito or something like that.
I'm getting reminiscence of swa.
Us. Yes. Yeah.
It's the voice version.
Yeah. Oh my god.
We have fun.
Oh dear.
Okay, so this is an interesting cognate set. It seems to be some sort of affricate.
Yeah.
But
the voicing of it seems like ambivalent, right? Because like we have yeah.
So we are gonna need to deal with this ambivalence.
Yeah, it seems like that. Yeah, there are a lot of like voiced versus voicing, like transformation. So yeah.
So I don't know if we want to reconstruct this as a tsa as well, given that we have that in the system already, but it was a lot easier for that one.
Yeah, I think I'm leaning towards actually DZ kind of, yeah.
Okay,
sound.
Let's put it in as DZ.
Yeah.
And I think we should probably call it there.
Yeah. Do we have 30? We do.
We do. We just don't know what to do with it.
Oh, yeah. It's just a question mark, like alone. Hanging out by itself. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think we've made good strides today.
Right.
Okay, everyone. Yeah. This is historical linguistics. This is
this is hard work. Like, come on. This is the meat of linguistics.
This is the of it, you know?
Oh. Yeah.
All right. Well, why don't we wish our friends watching on YouTube a pleasant day and thank them so much for joining us. Thank you, YouTube. And Quain, thanks.
Thank you. Yeah. Goodbye. Bye for now.
Bye for now. See you next time.